Hey guys, today's video, that didn't come out properly. For today's video, it is dark, so I apologise if the lighting isn't too great. I've got the big light on and I've got my little lamp on because I am too lazy to get my big lights out. For today's video is another sit down talky video because I kind of like doing them. This is going to be in between type video. I wanted to do something to explain coping techniques that I used for my anxiety while I was on holiday. But I don't want to do like a whole video just on that because honestly, while we were away, the main way I coped with my anxiety was to just go, do it. So that's not going to be helpful to everybody because sometimes that doesn't work, and I know that depending on the situation, even if I go, do it, I still might not do it. But when we were on holiday, that was my main coping technique, was to just say, suck it up and do it. So I was going to do a whole video on it, but I thought that would be the video. That was the main thing. So this is going to be like a 2-type video about how I managed to oof and do it, and also something that I have been doing lately and practicing lately that I have found to be really helpful, and I really didn't think it would be. So if you're like me and a bit about techniques and how to work through them, I am very much, for my anxiety, I get really annoyed with myself and I do just want to just slap myself and say just do it, but it doesn't work that way. So I have recently been practicing mindfulness, and I don't want this to be like ooh, is that type of video. It's not like, because that's not how it's supposed to be, which is what I thought mindfulness was. But it's really helping me get through certain situations throughout the day. It's not working for everything because I haven't been able to apply it to everything. But mindfulness, not mindfulness meditation, I have tried that, but it doesn't really do anything for me. Meditation, however, it does. I quite enjoy meditating. I will get onto that later. But the first thing is mindfulness, and I have got a book on it which is quite good but also a bit of a hard read. Sorry, I've got a bath running, I was just listening. The main gist that I can get from reading this book about mindfulness is to be mindful of every situation. So when I read the book, it was very, be aware of the earth under your feet or the sound that the trees make in the wind. And that could be great for other people, but for me it does just kind of make me laugh a little bit. But the thing that I took from it was to be mindful of the situation, and by doing that, looking for the positive in every situation. So for example, when I was on holiday and I was driving, I first picked up the car to drive and I was terrified to do this. I had my sister with me in the car. She was incredible, I will say. She gets like a triple minus. She gets like a star for how incredible she was with me on that journey. And the way that I got through it without having a panic attack, because I could feel it. So anybody that knows that suffers from like anxiety or panic attacks knows that feeling when you go, oh shit, it's gonna happen. I can feel it. How do I stop this from happening? And the way that I did that during that car journey was to try and be mindful of the situation. So the first thing was to know that was what was about to happen, to let myself know, okay, you feel anxious and panicky, and it's okay that I feel like that. That was the main thing that I had to do, was no, don't try and fight it, but just be aware of what is happening. And then I was very much trying to be positive. So my mindful thing for that situation was, okay, it's not that much longer now. Once it is done, I don't have to drive the car again until tomorrow. Which I know is like putting it off because I have to do it again the next day, but it really helped. And then we got stuck in traffic on a motorway where people drive like idiots. And my mindful thing for that was, it's okay, this way you get used to driving the car because we're stuck in traffic, so it's pedals and clutches and stuff. This way I can get used to how the car feels and how to drive the car. That is my mindful positive thing that I managed to take from that. And then every day that a situation came up that I was uncomfortable with, I tried my damn hardest to be mindful of what was happening and what was around me and try and find something positive to concentrate on. Lately, that is what I've been doing every day, is trying to find the positive in something. We went out last weekend with my nephew, and I love spending time with my nephew, as you know, but he doesn't come on YouTube. And we went to a new place that we've never been to before, and it was like a disabled children's play group type thing, where I knew there was going to be lots of people that were going to ask me lots of questions, and I was very, very nervous about that. I don't do well with strangers or crowds or questions. So mix all this together, and then I had my nephew, and I knew people were going to ask questions about my nephew, and I don't have the answers to that, so I was very nervous. My mindful positive attitude that I tried to instill on that situation was how much of a good time we were going to have playing at this group. There was going to be lots of toys we could play with. It would be really fun playing with my nephew in all of these different things. Yes, people are going to ask questions, but the positive side is that my nephew is going to have a really great experience playing and making new friends and trying new things. And we did it, and it was amazing. And yes, I continually was anxious while we were there, but I kept trying to find the positive in every situation. And I really sound like one of them people that talks to people with anxiety and like depression and just goes, oh, just deal with it, just be happy. I don't want it to come across that way, but I don't know how else to explain. That is what mindfulness is. It is trying to find the positive in every situation and not letting your anxiety rule what you're doing. And just, it's really difficult to explain what has been happening and how I've been doing it without sounding like a twat. I've decided that this year I am gonna stick two fingers up at my anxiety and say, forget you, I am in control of my life. I'm not going to let my anxiety hold me back from doing anything anymore. I'm going to try. And the way that I've been trying to do that is from finding mindfulness. And it's things like, we don't go anywhere. Like me and Chris, we don't go anywhere because that involves me driving somewhere new. And it's a very scary situation. Mindfulness wise, the way that I have been trying to do that is by saying, you know, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable for a little while, but think of the experience you're going to have when you get there, which I did instill a lot while we were away. It was, once we get there, think of these incredible things that you can do, or the things that you might see, and giving myself a right good talking to, basically. And it's not like it's just overnight I'm suddenly like, I have not got anxiety anymore. I think I'm always going to live with anxiety, but just trying to find one positive thing that could happen by putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation really seems to have been working. And I have been doing, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have been doing like a little bit of meditation. I do quite often like sleep meditation to try and get me to sleep at night, and I do quite enjoy that. But just before we went away, I found one on YouTube. If I can find the link, I'm sure I've got it in a playlist somewhere. I will link it in the description bar, and it's an anxiety reducing meditation, and I think it's about 10 minutes long. And I've only done it like once, listened to it once, which was on the way to the airport. But just from listening to it once, I've been able to remember what was said, and not to like be like, I'm anxious, let me just go meditate for a second. I've been able to just remember what was said. So if I'm in an anxious situation, I just repeat things in my head, and it was very much being aware of your own body and aware of the situation and aware that you can feel yourself getting anxious, and all of the different anxiety comes in all different forms. So for me, my main thing is my heart starts beating incredibly fast, like palpitations quite bad, and then I am unable to catch my breath, but not like, I do hyperventilate and have like, but I can feel like a real tightness and I get hot, and that is what, that's just like, that's how my anxiety begins. But this meditation sort of made you so, you know, rather than fight it, to just go with it and let it happen and be aware, and you say to yourself that I know that my heart is beating fast, and that's okay. Because the more you try to fight it, the more panic you feel. And it really, really has been helping. Every day, anxiety wise, I haven't been able to apply that to everyday anxiety, because my anxiety doesn't just come from a particular situation. There are certain situations that make it really bad, but my anxiety is with me all day, every day. I talk too much about it because, yeah. But for everyday, all day situations, I haven't been able to apply that yet. As I said, it's a work in progress. But if a situation that I know I'm going into that is uncomfortable, then I've been able to repeat these things to myself and find positive things in everything, and just being aware that it's happening. Mindfulness, honestly, isn't what it seems like it is. I've really started to enjoy it. If I can find a link to my book on Amazon, I'm not sure, I got it from the works. If I can find a link to the book that I've read, I will leave that in the description bar as well, and I highly recommend going and checking it out, because it really helped me out. Like, I love it. It's, yeah. That is going to be it for today's video. I don't know how good this is going to be once I rewatch it back. I feel like I just rambled. As you know, when I talk about my anxiety and things, I ramble, and my hands do this really weird thing because I'm uncomfortable. But that is today's video. Make sure that you thumbs up and that you subscribe, and I will see you soon with an update on how my mindfulness is going. Bye.